Hello everybody, hope you had a happy holidays, and this is the wrap-up video for 50 Movies in 50 Weeks, the Sci-Fi Invasion, where I successfully went through all 50 movies in this 50 movie box set for Mill Creek. And I watched and did little vlog style reviews of every movie, and at times it was a little stressful because of the way I filmed these. I tried to watch as many of them as possible and film them as quickly as possible so I'd have time for bigger and better videos. I explained all this in the introductory video, and I also did an update video in the middle of the year. For you guys, come on, Quentin, calm down. Sorry, Quentin's a little rambunctious. For you guys, the last video you saw was a week ago, and I said that I was working on a lot of big things in that video, and I was, and I still am. But unfortunately, my life took a bit of a turn in that space of time, and now I still have a lot of those scripts written, and I still plan on making them, but it's not happening as quickly as I had hoped. A lot of things went wrong, and I can't get into all of it because there's other parties involved. But like, I got sick, and it was probably the worst flu I've ever had. Like, I'm still coughing from it. I got so sick that I was like shivering. My teeth were chattering, everything, but I had a crazy high fever, but I felt so cold. And that went on for a long time. Even when I started to feel better, I was not better, you know, and then I had a lot of personal stuff that I won't get into here. And then I got COVID again, and COVID's really stressful for me because the first time I got it, I didn't get better for like half a year. I was out of work for 10 days. I lost 20 pounds in 10 days. And then I didn't breathe right for a year. This last time I got COVID, I felt better pretty quickly. And I didn't have a lot of the problems that I had the last time I had it. But then I got the flu, which was even worse. So it was wild. But yeah. But it hasn't been all gloom and doom. I have actually really enjoyed reading your comments. I've been trying to reply to them. I don't know what's going on. You see, when I first started this YouTube channel, I replied to every single comment. Now I have a hard time replying because I want to say something good, and I think about it for too long, and then I don't reply. So I am reading your comments, and I really do appreciate them. I'm actually going to, after I'm done with this live segment, I'm going to go back and I'm going to screenshot a lot of the profiles that have been commenting a lot because I appreciate you guys and I want to give you a little shout out, but I'll do that at the end of the video. Like I said, it hasn't been all gloom and doom because I was featured in a book, a published book. Isn't that awesome? Let me go to the page. So this is a book written by Caillou Petitis. I'm not sure how you pronounce your last name, Caillou. I'm sorry. There I am. I wrote a chapter on The Evil Dead. I'm under as Joseph Russitano, not Joey Hollywood. But yeah, I wrote a chapter about Evil Dead, and it's been really, really exciting to have my name in print in a physical book that I can show people. If you want to buy this yourself, there's a lot of, they spotlight a lot of good horror movies in here and a lot of different opinions and ranging writing styles. I'm not pitching this because I get residuals. I did this completely free of charge, a little freelance work. I don't get any money from you buying this book, but if you look at it and you want to buy it, I recommend it. You can read my little chapter. I spent a lot of time trying to pack 40 years of Evil Dead history into 5 pages. So yeah, my chapter is a quick read. I was under the impression it had to be 3,000 words. I found out after the book came out that that limit was not set by anyone because there's a chapter about the Predator that's like 20 pages. But yeah, it's a cool book. I'm really happy to be a part of it. And yeah, so it was one of the highlights of the year. Another great thing about this past year was I got a new job that was way better than my last job. I've talked about that several times throughout the year, but that was one of the biggest highlights. All right, real quick, I just want to zip through all the movies I covered this year and give my very brief thoughts on them all this time later. Let's see how much of an impact all these movies made on me. First up is Brain Twisters. I remember this movie being very confusing. I remember vaguely that there was forced kids to watch TV and the TV turned them into serial killers. That's all I remember about this movie. The Head. I do remember this movie vaguely well. I remember thinking it would make a great double feature with The Brain That Wouldn't Die. The Day Time Ended. I do remember this one. It has some pretty good stop motion effects, and I can recall it was in an episode of Mystery Science Theater. Eyes Behind the Stars. Now, that's a great title. I don't quite remember what happens in this one. I think this is the one where they go to Earth. Actually, no. I don't remember anything about this movie. Hands of Steel. I remember this one being kind of boring. I remember it was kind of a Terminator ripoff with a little bit of Mad Max. And that's about it. War of the Robots is a movie I've seen a million times, and I can't tell you what happens in it because it is just very boring. 984 Prisoner of the Future is a great little short film. It's very much like the 90s Outer Limits. I would recommend this one. Franco Nero in Top Line. This is a movie I really hoped to like, and I didn't really like it. It was a lot of nothing, but there's a really great special effect at the end. Night Fright. I don't remember much about this one. I think it was like a Dom Doller movie, though. Slipstream. This is a movie that is kind of impressive compared to a lot of the other movies on the set. It's not terribly memorable other than the fact that you have Mark Hamill as a villain. ETV. This has a different title on Mystery Science Theater. I can't recall what it is, but yeah, this movie sucks. It's very strange. It's a very, very strange movie. Great episode of Mystery Science Theater. Not a great watch on this box set. Star Night. I remember this movie having an interesting premise. I remember it having interesting production design. I also remember it being not very good, which was very disappointing for me because Harvey Keitel is in this. There's a lot of things that should work in this movie that don't. And here we have Invaders from Space. This is one of several Starman movies. These are episodes of a TV show edited into a movie, and I cannot tell you what happens in any of these movies. I just know there's a lot of fighting and spandex. The Alien Factor. This is a movie I've seen a few times before. It's one of the better episodes of Cinematic Titanic. On its own, it's actually a pretty fun watch. If I recall correctly, I've seen the Cinematic Titanic episode so much that as I was watching this one, their dialogue was going on in my head, though. Hyper Sapien. This one left an impact on me. There's a creepy alien that's supposed to be cute, and I remember not liking it. Escape from Galaxy 3. I don't remember what happens in this one. I think this is the one where they go to ancient Greece or Rome. I don't remember what happens in this movie. Welcome to Blood City. I remember this one being alright. I remember it being kind of like a Westworld type thing, but it's all done in like a Matrix style setting. Future Hunters. This is the standout movie on the box set. I'm actually trying to find a higher res version of this movie because I want to own it. This movie rocks. If you've taken anything from this series of reviews, is that you should watch this movie. It's awesome. The Creeping Terror, which has been featured on many late night movie shows like Mystery Science Theater and Elvira and too many to count. I don't know if I like it or not. It's a movie I've seen a lot. I think I prefer it with commentary. Trapped by Television. This is not a science fiction film from what I recall. I think this is just like a weird comedy about basically creating television. Rocket Attack USA. I don't remember much about this movie other than that it was featured in Mystery Science Theater. Hundra. I did not like this movie, but coincidentally, like a week after I uploaded this video, this movie got released on Blu-ray, and apparently there's a lot of fans for this movie. I didn't like it, but apparently a lot of other people do. Mission Stardust, kind of a long movie from what I recall. It's got some interesting things in it. I don't remember much else besides that. And then we got the first of our Rocky Jones movies, Gypsy Moon. Yeah, what can I say? I love these Rocky Jones movies. I hope to one day make a bigger video about it. The Brother from Another Planet. This was a movie I was really excited about because I thought it was going to be like a blaxploitation film. Ends up it's a lot newer than I thought it was going to be, so I thought it was going to be like kind of like a self-parody. But humor in this is very odd. It's a very confused movie. This is an odd one. This is a movie that deserves further study. Battle Beyond the Sun. I remember this one because it has an opening to it that's American, that was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and the rest of the movie is a Russian film that's dubbed in English. And I remember there's some interesting special effects in it, but the picture quality is so bad you can't really make out a lot of it. Primal Impulse. This one's pretty good. This movie is actually called Footprints on the Moon. It's not called Primal Impulse, even though that's what it says on the box. I like me some Giallo, and this feels like a Giallo film. It technically isn't, but it feels that way. Morons from Outer Space. Now this is a movie that's actually in widescreen. It's got pretty decent picture. It's the kind of movie I think I would have really loved as a kid, but I'm not sure if I connected with it as an adult. It's been a while. I guess I didn't connect with it, or else I would have remembered it better. Alien Prey. This one's pretty good. I remember it's about two lesbian lovers in an abusive relationship, and an alien taking the form of a human is infiltrated their little home, and it's a great little drama. I found out it's on Blu-ray, and I think it might be worth picking up in HD. I'm not really sure. I think the Blu-ray has a longer version of the movie, which would be interesting to check out. Future Women. I recall this being a sequel to a movie I've never seen before. I'm actually surprised it's a Jess Franco movie. I remember it not being very good. Star Pilot. I might be mistaken, but I think this is another example of a TV series edited into a movie, but I'm not sure. Assassin. I remember this being a very dull TV movie that was a loose ripoff of Terminator. Now, Fugitive Alien, I do know for a fact is couple episodes of a TV series edited into a movie. I recall it ending on a to be continued, but the second movie is not available on this set, which is disappointing. Another Rocky Jones, Beyond the Moon. I don't remember what happens in this movie, but it's Rocky Jones. I like it anyways. The Crater Lake Monster. I recall this one having decent picture and great stop motion special effects. I also own it on a Riff Tracks DVD as well. That'd be my preferred way to watch it, but this is fine, especially with friends. Raiders of Atlantis. This is a very strange Italian film. I wasn't really sure what was going on for a lot of it, but I don't regret seeing it. At least I don't think I do. I think I liked this one. I don't know, it stuck with me more than some of the others. Robo Vampire. This movie, I've seen the cover of this movie for years, and you know what? It's pretty good. I liked it. It's strange, but I liked it. Horror High. This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in high school. I think it was alright. This also has a Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. Galaxina. I hated this movie. I did not like it at all. I'm not sure what I said in the review, but whatever I said, if I said I didn't hate it, I hadn't really fully formed my thoughts at that point, because the more I've distanced myself from this movie, I did not like it. One of the people in the comment section said that the best way to enjoy this movie is high. I'll take your word for it. Night of the Blood Beast. This one's pretty good. I remember liking this one. The Manster, half man, half monster. This is an interesting little horror movie. I recall it takes place near Mount Fuji, and it's got an interesting setting. It's pretty good. I remember the ending's a little funny. The Evil Brain from Outer Space, another Starman movie. Couldn't tell you what happened in this one. I just know there's a lot of fighting and spandex. The Bat. This is not a science fiction film. This is a good old-fashioned horror movie with Vincent Price. It's pretty good. Life Returns. This is a strange movie because it features real footage of scientists bringing a dog back from the dead. There's just also a lot of weird Herbert West storyline going on, mixed with a little bit of the Little Rascals.
It's very strange. I would only recommend it if you're interested in movies that are kind of a strange experience. The Giant of Metropolis is a movie that seems like it's made up of other movies. It's got a gladiator thing going on, and then it's also got aliens in it. I recall it not being very good. Rotor. I know this one has a lot of comedic commentary attached to it, and I kind of wish I watched that version instead of the one that's just on its own. It's been a while, but yeah. Death Machines. This one has an awesome poster, and it's a kung fu movie with very light science fiction elements. I think there's like a drug that makes people not die, but it's primarily like a fighting movie. Abraxas, a movie I hope I never watch ever again. And we ended this little series with Silver Needle in the Sky, a Rocky Jones flick. And you know me, I like my Rocky Jones, so this was a great way to end the series.
But like I said, I had a lot of plans for this upcoming year that's not going to come into fruition. However you pronounce that word. Just to give a little taste of what I was planning, I actually wanted to do a long video series on a TV show called Degrassi. I wanted to do that because it seemed out of character for me, and it's something I'm mildly interested in because it's several generations spread across like 4 or 5 different TV shows. I actually wrote an outline for it, and I bought a lot of material to do this series. I just didn't have the time because everything was up going crazy. I was also planning a series on the Hercules and Xena TV shows. I've been planning that for a long time. I actually shot some stuff for it that I'm not going to release until I have more done. But yeah, I had that planned, and I also wrote a lot of standalone individual reviews, like videos that would be 10 to 20 minutes long about a wide range of movie topics. I wrote a lot of this stuff, and it's ready to be filmed. And I definitely think, even though nothing worked out quite as planned this year, and even though this is not technically all that successful of a series, you'll see the view count go from like 200 views to now, I think I average about 40 views now. And I've lost about 100 subscribers, which is fine. Dead weight, because, you know, if you have a lot of subscribers and they're not watching, that's what they are. They're dead weight. They weigh down your channel. Unfortunately, I'd love to keep all those subscribers and keep them engaged, but I just haven't been able to do that these past few years. But yeah, it's this, I think, is the way to go. I think filming a bunch of stuff in advance and then uploading it, and, you know, setting it on timers, just like I did with this series. I think that's the way to go. I like this format, and I'm going to do it in the future. So what does that mean for next year? Well, next year I'm not going to have all the videos I had planned ready. But what I am going to do is I'm going to continue 50 movies in 50 weeks, the Sci-Fi Invasion, with another 50 movies. Now I'm going to talk more about this next week, but we'll have a season 2 of this series. And I'm just going to say I like the movies in this box set a lot more. I'm going to leave it at that. On top of that, I'm going to be doing more quick reviews for movies that are currently in the theater. And all while I'm doing that, I will be trying to prep a lot of these series that I have written. They're just not off the ground. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching these past few years. I'm really sorry about the audio, by the way. My cat, the moment the camera's on, the cat wants to run around and do stuff, and now he's just like open mouth eating. So if you can hear this, I'm sorry. But I just want to thank you for watching these past 12 months. That's crazy. I thank you so much for this. You guys are all great. I'll see you next year. And here are a collection of screenshots of comments from a lot of you guys that have been watching this past year. I just want to give you a little shout out in the best way I can at the moment. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon.
Alright, so what I want to do here is I want to go through a lot of these comments I've gotten the past year, and I want to highlight a couple people because I've seen your names over these past few months, and I just want to say thank you. And you guys left me so many good comments. I don't know which ones to highlight, so I just wanted to scroll through here and just thank you individually. John, you're amazing. You've been probably I think you've commented more than any other person during this whole thing, and that's truly awesome. Thank you so much. Drunken Atheist Studios, man, you're the best. Thank you so much for all your comments. The Nerd Dungeon, I know you've been commenting quite a bit. Thank you so much. Got Mike McFarlane here. This guy's been just such a great supporter over the years. Even when I was producing nothing, he would still like come out of the woodwork and just say nice things to me, and I really appreciate that. Fisheye here. You don't comment that much, but you know what? Your comments are always really like to the point. You always bring up something interesting, and I appreciate that. Mike, thank you so much for your comments. You started commenting around the middle of the year, but you've been, I've always enjoyed your comments. I really appreciate them. I'm sorry I don't reply to them as much as I'd like to, but just know that I've read them and I enjoyed your feedback. I gotta say, I love that you guys love my Kolchak retrospective. I think that is the best video I've ever made, and I'm so glad that so many of you guys have connected with it. I really, it makes me feel like that video was worth making. Well, I gotta say thank you to everyone else. Now I know that there was more people that made comments than the ones I highlighted here. There's just so many throughout the year. I couldn't get all of you, but I really appreciated all the feedback, all the support, and I hope to see you next year. Remember, please be kind and rewind.